Jim, when are you going to talk about the photo? This is on Twelvewood. I don't know, Wood. When are you going to do another scope? Friday night, probably, right? All right, so he's talking about the photo. We all know the photo he's talking about. We're talking about Hawk's photo. Tiger's trip to Riviera ended pretty much the way that I would have expected it to, early. Now, again, I had an open mind. I was positive going into the event. I actually had some sort of expectations for him, and then he made me look bad. Should have gone with my gut, or my head, actually. So I thought he would do better than he did. And I was fine with him shooting that opening round 72. I thought, you know what, there might be something here. This guy's not going to win the tournament, but he might make it to Saturday, but he didn't. But the guy who, even in his prime, who would get eaten alive by Riv, was not getting to the weekend when he was spraying that big dog 30 yards deep again. This guy's never going to win anything at all if he can't play it off the tee. And he was just grinding to salvage pars. Something he could not do anywhere near as well on Friday as he did on Thursday. But while the Cat spent the weekend at home, the Hawk spent the weekend at Riv. And if it's possible, the Sparrow set a new low for representing me, this show, and even himself. Because if it weren't embarrassing enough that the executive producer of my program has been washing up Tiger's Bridgestones, he goes full-fledged golf loser when he reaches across the rope line for a high five, a legitimate high five. If you're watching on CBS Sports Network, you see it. If not, go to Hawk's timeline, because you know I'm not putting it on mine. He reaches across the rope for a high five, a legitimate high five from Rory McIlroy, who hits Hawk with the Heisman and maybe the greatest stink eye ever. If you have not seen the tweet, check what Hawk posted over the weekend. A picture that says 1,000 words, and every last one of them clowning and killing Hawk. Now, this is not the first time I've had to say this. I'm sure it's not going to be the last time I have to say this. My reputation, my integrity, my cred, all very important to me. My EP, executive producer. In fact, an extension of myself. Only this extension is like some cat-tatted moron who finds new and incredible ways to embarrass me. And don't think that I'm just doing this on the air. Trust me, we've had this talk off the air already. But now I'm doing it for all of your benefit because you weren't here for that conversation. Check out the wardrobe on this guy as he's roaming the grounds of one of the nicest country clubs on the PGA Tour. Look at what this guy's wearing. A puke yellow hat representing a basketball team in Seattle that has long since been killed off. A shirt inspired by a grandmother's wallpaper. Jorts. Calf-high black socks over some hipster boat shoes that make his pale twig legs look even more pale. Hawk, you're lucky they let you anywhere near that track. Hell, you're lucky Rory didn't suplex you or put security on your ass. The freaking Sparrow. This is a guy who has been talking nonstop about this weekend for months. This is all this guy's been talking about. He even flew his mom into town to help with his daughter so he could follow his beloved gato around the track. Never for 1 second thinking that maybe Eldrick was at best a coin flip shot at making the weekend, considering he had to grind his ass off just to make the cut at Torrey, a place that he owns and loves. So while part of me is thankful that Eldrick did not make the cut, I'd have to fire Hawk if they hit him with a taser for freaking out when he got within eye shot of El Gato. Even when Tiger isn't out there, he's making a fool of himself. Hell, Julio Jones thought reaching for a high five from Rory was embarrassing. At least give Justin Thomas some love. At least he's been in the jungle a couple of times. Another week, another embarrassing moment for my EP. And another day where I have to weigh the pros and cons of letting this guy be a part of my crew and then sift through Twitter, trying to get through it all to get back on track with the program. All right, so just to give you a sense of some of the reaction on Twitter to Hawk. I mean, Hawk's problem is now he just keeps thinking, what do I do to up the bar? How do I up the bar? I've already gotten ink of my cat. Now I've gone to a PGA Tour event and got a picture of Rory McIlroy looking like he wants to fight me. I mean, Hawk, what do you do next? Where is there to go from here? See the reaction. And Mark the Nomad tweets, my word, Hawk, that outfit. Have you given up? Look at Jim Benton, the oldest of the old school. James Kelly, like 20 years before James Kelly. Benton might have been the first unofficial, I don't want to say employee of the program because that's not true. But I mean, Benton was James Kelly before James Kelly, Stucknut before Stucknut. Benton was here almost from day one. He tweets, Bill Belichick on a beach thinks that's a bad look. And Pauly T Wall tweeting about Hawk. Quote, Hawk, help me out here. How would you describe your style? Seems like it's one of those intentional, countercultural, dumpy style things. But that's just my guess. Please advise. Thanks. Hey, did that exceed 140? That looks like that exceeded 140. I'm not saying that what he said is not true. Hey, stay on that, y'all. Stay on that, y'all. Count that up for me. That looks long. At Total Big E tweets, you should let the wife dress you from now on, pigeon. Dude, how'd you get out of the house looking like that? Yeah, go ahead. What do you have to say for yourself, Hawk? I know nothing good.
What's up, Jam? How are you?
Stop asking me things like that. What do you have to say for yourself?
Well, first off, we got an early start because it was Huntington Beach to Santa Monica.
Oh, so you got dressed in the dark, so you have no idea what you were wearing.
No, I knew what I was wearing, but my wife was asleep, so she didn't know what I was wearing.
Okay, right.
And golf is this weird sport where the spectators dress
Not as weird as you're making it, Hawk.
That's true, but the spectators dress like they're going to get on the course at some time and start hitting the ball themselves. It's a terrible look where they wear like shorts and a polo tucked in with the Titleist hat and the baggy sunglasses. So I go for my own
there's not a muni in the world that would let you play golf dressed like that.
That's right. So that's why I'm saying the other spectators dress like they're about to jump on the course. I like to go the opposite direction.
Oh, okay.
And
right.
I was looking to make a statement, and
well, you did, Hawk.
Thank you very much. I take that as a compliment. And
you shouldn't. It was not meant as a compliment.
I followed Rory around the entire back nine. I was hitting him every hole. Rory, what's up? And finally, my friend decided to cross the other side of the ropes and take a picture of me getting denied by Rory. That was like the third time that day. What you don't see before the picture is Rory looks at me and then immediately looks away. He wanted nothing to do with me. I also saw Justin Thomas, who I hit with a Team Crunchy peanut butter blast, which he appreciated. He looked back, he smiled, he nodded. And then Patasauer from Bugaha ran into me because he recognized the shirt from an earlier tweet. So I ran into him on about the 12th hole.
Wait, you're talking really quickly and covering a lot of ground. Patasauer was here.
Yeah,
from Bugaha.
Yes, he now lives in the Los Angeles area. This was his second time at the Riv. He was there with a buddy.
There goes the neighborhood.
Right, exactly. So we met up and got some beers and hung out. And
you slammed beers with Patasauer.
I mean, he slammed the beers. I slow sipped one between 13 and 18 because I had a long drive ahead of me, and I was being responsible no matter how bad it looked out there.
Right.
And the first question he asked was, how do I get on the podcast? To which I told him.
That's a pretty easy question to answer. It's never happening.
Right.
Ever.
I said, Jim says you're never getting on, and I double-checked that with you to make sure that was still true. But we had a good time. And may I please say this, the Riviera, the most spectator-friendly course in all of golf.
Obviously, they let you on.
Exactly. Beautiful course, easy to walk, easy to see everything. It was an amazing time.
You know why? Because your dude El Gato wasn't there.
That's true. The gallery was 1/10 the size that it was. So I got a lot of mobility. Bad for Rory, good for me. A lot of fun. Would do it again.
Yeah, but
Can't wait till next time.
Horrific for me and my brand that I'm working so hard to build up. You understand this, right?
Yes, and I did mean to tell you that wherever I go, I always have you in the back of my mind, which is why I didn't ask to get credentialed. I didn't wear anything that said I was a member of the media. I was like, I got to keep Jim out of this.
But the problem is, dude, even if you don't have that credential around your neck, you still represent me. Even if you're not a credentialed working stiff that day, you still, when you leave the house, you represent me. As long as you pull a paycheck from me, you represent me. You understand that?
I do. But
you didn't 5 seconds ago until I explained it to you.
Can we meet halfway? I'm not going to yell, get in the hole. I'm not going to swear. I'm not going to get drunk, but I am going to dress like an idiot, and I am going to try to get some high fives.
Halfway is stop leaving the house while you work for me looking like that, and mostly at sporting events, or especially at sporting events. That's halfway. You want to meet halfway? Meet me halfway in the hallway where I can fire you so we don't do it on the air. Come on, Hawk. Stop negotiating your alleged hipsterness. There's nothing hip about that, all right? Stop doing it.
No promises, but thank you. I will take it under advisement. You've given me a lot of room to be
your whole life, Hawk. What are you talking about?
And it's much appreciated. And I will try to correct my wardrobe and my antics, but there are no promises.
All right, so I'm going to take that as I'm not changing anything, and you should take this as your 30-day probationary period. Get it together, Hawk.
You got it.
Thank you very much.
You bet.
Thank you for nothing. Meanwhile, the tweets keep coming. Hawk ain't changing for nothing. He's he's not. This is the money that he spent when he went to the Salvation Army and bought all those clothes, and this is what he's going to wear. My man's just not giving in. I've had guys come through this house that were like that, where I'm like, listen, this is really important that you all understand this. When I hire somebody to work here, I don't want a sycophant. I don't want somebody to yes me. I want somebody who's got a different point of view than mine, but not so different that we disagree on everything. I want somebody who can make the show better. I want somebody who can make me better. But at the same time, there is a culture that I've developed here, and you do need to fit in on some level. And this is essentially Hawk feeling himself like, hey, man, this is who I am. You know what you hired. Quote, I'll meet you halfway. Let's see how the clones feel about it. JP Emmett, completely serious, Jim. When I saw Hawk's clothes this weekend, I thought Denlesks photoshopped him. No, that's really how he dresses. Dear Jim, thanks a lot for that rant. Anyway, let's play some basketball. Regards, Hawk. Signed, Randall. WFI in the OC. Yeah! You know, Hawk, if you keep coming on like that, and I keep having to go as hard as I am on that, some of it will go back your way. Some of it will be like, you know what, Roman, cut the guy some slack, dude. That's a little harsh. But you know what? 98% are going to say, good job, Rome. Handle your business. Clean your own house. Take care of it. Dear Jim, we all know personal appearance smack is not show fodder. It's not fair. It's not fair because you allow your EP Adam Hawk to prance around the Genesis Open, harassing pro golfers, snapping truly deplorable photos of himself, and hanging out with losers who can't make the podcast. All the while dressed like Griffey the cat picked out his clothes for a tea party with the ladies at the local Elks Club. Come on, Jim. Give the clones a break. Signed, Brenton PC. War Hawk's mom taking the first flight back to Seattle. I think she did, right? Hey, Brent, don't act like I didn't just call him to the mat. Don't act like I'm not handling this. I'm trying. He's kind of like that kid. He's like the kid. He's like that one child that's the black sheep of the family. And you don't give up on the kid. At least not yet. I'm trying. But I am going to hold him accountable. And I'm not letting it slide. Jim, when are you going to talk about the photo? Yeah, I heard you the first time, Twelvewood. Scott the 805. Did Hawk's grandmother bite the dust and he inherited bolts of old fabric and a sewing machine? That would explain it. That's one logical explanation. I could ask, but then I would have to talk to him again. I don't know. Hawk, you know what time it is. We've discussed these things already. To stop embarrassing me. Julio, Rory, Griffey. Take care of your business. All right, 1-800-636-8686.